Realized being gay is really expensive, so I became a con man.
Cash or charge?
Charge. Credit card fraud. I was selling Dad tomatoes. Anything to make a buck.
When I called all your references, well, they couldn't speak more highly of you.
I cannot speak more highly about Stephen Russell.
Okay, next up is I Love You Phillip Morris, and this is something a little different, and believe it or not, it stars Jim Carrey. Yes, a movie with Jim Carrey has been released without any hype, without or significant box office dent for that matter. Along for the ride is also Ewan MacGregor. Now, this movie is quite funny in an ambitious kind of way, and it's not your typical Jim Carrey fare, but for those who are loyal to Carrey's work being comedy drama or anything else really, you should still enjoy it. Now, writers Glenn Ficarra and John Requa applied really a generous heaping here of mischievous aspects that they brought to their script for, of course, a famous film, one of the best of the year that year, Bad Santa. Now, that means very few sacred moments, if you will, that it goes away, doesn't shy away from a wild and just unbelievably unhatched story. Now, again, it drives home the point of the hero's sexuality, and it's really funny the way Carrey delivers it as he does a narrating voiceover as his character Stephen Russell. Did I mention I was gay? Just the way he delivers it is just hilarious, and it's just a voiceover too. And if you'd imagine Jim Carrey, you've never seen Jim Carrey play a gay man before, so really it's actually quite interesting. Now, when you think of Jim Carrey playing a gay man, you think he's going to go over the top like a la Sean Hayes in Will and Grace. But no, Jim Carrey keeps it level here. Now, Carrey's characters also are unrelenting, white-collar con man from Texas who has a gift of gab and a talent for slipping and easing his way out of prison. Now, there's actually a really long escape montage that kind of drags here, but it's still entertaining in its own right. Now, granted, too, that again, it's hard to sustain a movie like this, but somehow Jim Carrey manages, and he kind of carries along. No disrespect to Ewan MacGregor, but really Carrey is the shines brightest here. Now, of course, this brings to him Phillip Morris, played by Ewan MacGregor. Now, he's in the camp for a rental car fraud. The new acquaintances enter this, I guess you'd say, this love euphoria as they tumble for each other in a hurry, as Boy George would say, maybe. But I gotta say, this is a partly outrageous prison yarn and part criminal study, if you will. I Love You Phillip Morris is also an earnest story. Treat it with lots of good comic easements, and you might find it maybe a movie by Judd Apatow, or even a more outrageous sense in the Farrelly brothers, who Jim Carrey is obviously very familiar with Dumb and Dumber, Me, Myself, and Irene. But I don't know if it qualifies as a groundbreaking movie, but at the same time, there are chances that this movie took that so many others haven't dared to even try. Now, Carrey seems more comfortable here than I would have thought. He keeps his manic shtick, again, down to a minimum level, and his timing is still 110% on the button, like it is in every film he does, be it a good film or a bad film. Carrey's timing is something that, in my opinion, that you can't even argue about. Now, in the story here, when Russell draws through a breakdown of the prison system to a new inmate, he delivers variations on the same laugh line with a poker face, if you will, and even his delivery. Now, his Russell is both just a savvy romantic and every bit as well as he is a compulsive liar, and the balance between the two is actually quite enjoyable. It's not like Billy Bob Thornton in Bad Santa, where this guy's the most disgusting person in the world. It seems as though the screenwriters have this ability, where Billy Bob Thornton, again, is the most disgusting person you've probably seen on the movie screen, one of the most disgusting characters, and yet, in a way, you're still kind of rooting for him to win. I mean, I guess there's a likability about it. To do that, there's a lot of ability, and Jim Carrey does that here. Is in reality, this kind of guy would not be a good person to be around. He just cause you to fall, but it does suffer the occasional bout of drawliness, if you will, and it does, in kind of the whole scam by Russell, and not just kind of, I don't know, it's just kind of there. But yes, I understand that movies are just supposed to carry some peril, if you will, but this just doesn't sustain that enough to be a great film. It's still a good film, but it is all part of the gag. And I love how Carrey's voiceovers make this film roll along anymore. Now, I like how it finds the humor in an unlikely love story, and that's what makes it so good. And I know, yes, the main characters are gay, whatever, get over it. It's just a movie. It's something to enjoy from an entertainment aspect. But this movie, again, is not going to be for all mainstream Jim Carrey fans. But I love how this movie resists the temptation to play it straight, because, believe me, a lot of movies do the whole cop-out. So I give I Love You Phillip Morris 3 stars out of 5.